You are listening to the one and only, the hottest podcast show on the planet. It's OK Law. Over to you, John, Kenny, and Eugene.
I forgot to unmute myself. Hello, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of It's Okay La with me, John. We've got Eugene on the other side, just right below us, like maybe 300
Right
over
below
kilometers.
us.
Yeah, 300 kilometers away.
Right
Happy
below.
hump day.
And also we
what?
have Happy Hum Day.
Happy hump day.
I don't understand.
Wednesday is called the Hum Day.
Wednesday.
Because it's in the middle of the week
I don't know, but I know it's Hum Day.
or another
It's
hump.
either that or it's a sex reference. So, yeah.
Because Wednesday is a day for
Humping.
I guess. Yeah.
I think it's possible that that's it, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
Okay,
Got me
let's keep
curious.
Well,
let's
I
do
mean, yeah, the other guy who is curious is Kenny, by the way. So say hi, everyone. Thank you
Oh,
for
that
tuning
guy.
in. So we are recording today on a Wednesday, prestigiously 5 minutes late because it's now 10:05. We're never on time when we start recording live anyway. When
Isn't our
everybody's
usual
just
time
ready.
10:30?
Yeah, 10:30 we
Is-
supposedly
But we
gather around.
wanted to get okay.
Yeah,
wanted to be early
but
today.
Eugene is yawning already. He wants to sleep. That's why he wants to start early.
Okay.
Commitment, you see, commitment. Now consider this. Well, I mean, there's no income in this one, but he's moonlighting now.
Moonlighting now.
Right.
He has a real job, and then after that, he's moonlighting on a podcast like this. How dare you? How dare you, Eugene?
Yeah, hopefully, it can do well. So,
What's new with you guys this week, huh?
I had too much ice cream this
Ooh.
week, or at least so far.
it's,
Well, it's
Wow.
not a lot, like just that, like they were just okay, ice cream, just pick it up. Kids wanted some, okay, pick it up, and then I felt I've had this a bit more than I would. I mean,
what kind of ice cream is this?
It's not buffet ice cream,
Um,
yeah.
Oh no, that one I think you won't see me. You won't see me in the call already. No, like it was just like happened to have to go pick up stuff after dinner, and then had 2 rounds of Family Mart soft serve, which actually is not so rich. It's actually pretty okay. It's actually alright.
Two
But then
rounds of
Right.
soft serve. Wow,
one day after the other, back to back,
Actually,
same time.
I've done it twice in the same day before, actually.
twice in the same day.
It's quite light, and then it's also quite cheap. So it's like it's just like getting wet lah. But then it's like okay. I mean, I don't feel bad, but then I just feel like okay lah. I need to.
Well,
need
you
to
guys are
take it easy.
inspiring me a lot. I've got a tub of
Oh.
vanilla ice cream in my freezer now.
What kind?
When you
What
say
brand?
tub,
Termalock or something, is it? That
I know
Oh,
which one.
hey,
I know which
that's
one.
that's an expensive
Yeah.
one.
No, actually,
It's a good
It's
one.
okay. It's okay.
it's not expensive. It is like
It's not?
30 ringgit, but it's a bloody big tub. It's a 1 liter tub. You know, when you compare to a Haagen-Dazs and all these branded ice cream, right? A small little tub like this that costs you about 20 over ringgit already, or 15 ringgit. Easy.
Is it called Tilamok?
Tilamok, yeah, Tilamok.
Yes, that's the one.
brand.
That's the
yeah.
one. That's the
Yes.
one. I
Oh,
was trying
hang
to
on.
Google it. Yeah, Tilamok.
Okay.
Yeah. Wait,
Okay,
let
I
me
know
try and
that
guess.
I-
You said vanilla, is it?
Yeah,
You got
vanilla
vanilla.
beans.
The beans one. Yeah. Okay. Good choice.
It's pretty good.
Actually, I know that I've bought it before and brought to your house,
Uh-huh.
but after that I learned
Oh.
that it's actually got some questionable ingredients because it's from America.
A questionable
So-
ingredient. For who?
Yeah,
for
there's like
us?
for us,
Like
there's like
the
there's some GMO
ingredients.
stuff on. In it.
Most stuff from US got GMO, and it's almost like
there's a bit
their
odd
thing.
one. So this one had a particular thing, and so that's why there was once we bought
Mhm.
a whole tub of this, and then after Adeline found out that it had this thing, then we tossed the whole tub.
Serious shit.
uneaten. Yeah, and so I'm like, what is it really? I need to clarify with her. I mean, I'm looking on the Tilamok website. Obviously, they won't put it on their website, but
We proudly contain this in our products.
GMO ingredients?
I mean, there's so many GMO type of stuff that is used in foods to a certain level, and then FDA approves it. Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, I dare say I've already consumed like over the past 3 years. Pandemic actually is when I began buying Tillamook, because also Jaya Grocer, because Jaya Grocer was my go-to grocers for pandemic, and the Tillamook actually just look really good, and it's not too expensive.
Packaging,
So I've
packaging.
yeah. So I've got at least like 5 or 6 tubs in my consumption history of the past 3 years.
I know. We bought it at least like twice before this. We learned about this stuff, but I need to check to see what it is. I think it was a GMO related thing.
No wonder three of us are a little bit weird.
We're syncing our GMO content.
Oh my goodness. Actually, what is
I got the
GMO?
Dhabi one. Genetically modified.
Genetically modified.
Oh, for
Or
something.
organism.
Yeah, really? That's a bit okay.
Okay. Everybody Google it now.
Organism, really.
What is the organism? Oh, okay.
Which organism is broad enough to mean anything, that including stuff we eat, fruits, anything. Yeah. So anything that's alive.
So you mean that the vanilla bean is actually not vanilla bean, perhaps?
No, something.
It may not
about,
be the
like,
bee, it could be just something else they use. Yeah.
Yeah, something about the milk or the cows or something like that.
Oh,
So
I'm not
the
sure.
milk is not
I
milk,
can't-
perhaps.
I'm not sure. I better not say without doing a bit more research. But, yeah.
I remember the trip that I went down to Singapore, and then we were hanging out, and you were saying
yeah.
that our podcast got to be a little bit more structured. One person got to be the expert, the other two can fit in, and then it is be much more structured and everything. And then now here we are again talking about things that we are not expert about.
Yeah. I'm not an expert.
Based on me answering a question about what happened this week, and then I just say ice cream, and then Tillamook, and then GMO, and it says here the milk used to make Tillamook products far exceeds state federal quality standards when it comes from cows that are not treated with artificial growth hormones. That's good. What? So why is that a problem? Not treated with artificial growth hormones.
Official response.
This is this is from Tillamook's FAQ. Yeah, okay, fine.
Yeah, wow.
Damn it. I was reading the extract from Google. I didn't look at the source.
That's not very impartial, ain't it not?
Okay, Marianos.com. Tillamook ice cream uses high quality pasteurized milk and uses no bioengineered. Okay, these guys are also in bed with them, so I guess lawsuit filed on behalf of a class of Oregon consumers. Tillamook's advertising campaigns are designed to mislead consumers that the company's products are sourced from humane pasture-based small-scale family farms. But it doesn't say what they as opposed to whatever those like inhumane stuff lah. Challenging ALDF.org. Yeah, okay. We are not experts. We're just trying to like wing topics again. But Tillamook's vanilla bean is nice. The chocolate peanut butter one, which I was hoping would be nice, actually was a bit weird.
I actually like a lot the mud chocolate one. That's really rich. I think you get sugar high from taking that one. At least I know it is really, really like rich and calm. The chocolate taste to it. I bought the vanilla bean because I've got a coffee machine. I thought it's nice to sometimes make a nice little what's it called?
Affogato.
Yeah, affogato.
Oh, I'm the one here telling you guys what the affogato is called. The only coffee non-drinker.
Is that Italian for coffee float?
Coffee float. Yeah.
I just know it's ice cream and coffee. I don't know whether
it's basically espresso and ice cream and vanilla.
Which basically means coffee and milk and ice cream, right?
Yeah. In a way. Well, I guess
latte. That's latte. Sorry.
Milk is latte in Italian. Right. So cafe latte is coffee with milk.
Cafe latte. Yeah. And espresso with ice cream is affogato. And espresso is what again?
Espresso.
Coffee drip.
No, espresso is espresso lah.
Which is a type of coffee. No.
It's a way to prepare coffee. It's basically express coffee.
Okay.
Okay. Express coffee. Good. Okay.
It's express coffee because what happened is that when you don't introduce pressure or press out the coffee and let it drip, those are normal brewing coffee techniques, and they are the slow. It takes time for the water to drip through the coffee beans.
The French press slow drip
French,
coffee. Yeah.
You got to wait and everything. But when it comes to espresso, you introduce pressure, So olden days you have the valve, the lever that you press, and that's pressure the psi into it. Even nowadays they have like all these
PSI into it, you technical.
Yeah.
PSI into it. And hence the sound of the espresso machine, therefore it's espresso.
those are the whipping thingy, the whatever. It's not really
The reason why it's an
PSI.
espresso lah. Okay.
The PSI
Alright.
is when you press, there's no sound one. Basically generating, generating pressure if it's manual, there's no sound. You just press down, right? So that's pressure.
I mean, provided there's no leak lah, then no
Yeah.
sound lah.
So, but with all these coffee machine, of course, you're gonna. So I guess they are like component of
Right.
like pulling air inside and then introduce pressure into it, and that's how coffee brew. And because it brew instantly, and hence espresso express coffee. So yeah.
What do the coffee aficionados think of like the one that you get from the coffee shop, the Kopi O, or like the one that they brew in that big pot with the spout?
It's
What do you think of that? Is that just like a total
well,
abomination,
depending
or-
how snob and
Abomination.
how naive you are, lah. I mean, essentially, all this boils down to coffee culture in different places, right? You can say it's wrong, you can say it's right. What's right and what's wrong, right? When people enjoy that kind of taste of coffee, from one culture to another, right? So in Malaysia, those long sprout one, what you say, the kopitiam coffee, is it?
Long sprout lah.
the one that they
the
filter through
sock.
a sock.
A
The
sock.
sock,
No,
yeah
it's
lah.
not sock,
Why is
but
it a
it's,
long sprout? Long sprout or sock or both?
those-
Basically, you got the long
it's
sock,
the long spout.
Which at the end of it, I said,
and then
okay,
you pour
okay.
from a long
Sock lah,
sprout.
sock. Because I'm
it's-
thinking about Simat Naita. That's what I'm thinking about. Simat. So Simat is that sock lah.
No, wait a minute. You sprout or the long sock? You're talking.
Well, the ones that they have here all the time has got the long spout and the sock.
Yeah,
So
okay.
the sock is when they first make a batch, then they
Yeah.
use the sock to filter out the
Typical Malaysian
Coffee or-
kopitiam coffee lah.
So what's the spout for? The long spout is to do what?
Ah, it's to
Is
pour
it
out.
to cool it or some kind of like tarik effect. I don't know.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's,
yeah,
it's,
oh,
it's to
yeah.
pour out. Basically, right? I'm not sure whether you guys hold a long spouted pot before. It's a lot easier to control in terms of the flow rate, like how much you want to pour.
Oh,
Because
never.
Oh, actually,
the
yes, yeah.
distribution, the length, right, will then let you control the flow a lot more because the liquid is lesser than say in the pot itself. When you pour out into the spout is long, and then you get more granularity in terms of like controlling of the pour. So that's why even like the barista or the brewers, right, they use a long spouted kettle to actually brew coffee
Yeah, I've seen
because
that
they
before.
can control.
Oh, so it's not that it will be affecting the flavor of the thing. but
Well,
it's
it does
just-
affect like how your flow control on how you actually pour the water inside and how consistent you are. So it affect the final result of it, right? So yeah, well, basically control lah. The more control you got, the more repetitive thing that you can do, then you get consistent coffee. One cup tastes the same as the other, that kind of thing. So that's why people measure how many grams, how fine the coffee ground, and all those recipes that comes to take. Is literally not to like say, hey, I'm special. I'm just trying to be consistent with the coffee so that if I serve you coffee A, coffee B, when I serve again, it's the same. So you get the same
Right.
experience, basically.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So you're talking about, say, kopitiam in Malaysia, the Simat one, and then the long spout is just a way of brewing coffee in Malaysia, and what kind of beans that they are accustomed to. Usually, these beans that comes from all these roasters are very dark, creamy, butter, sugar, fried beans. So by itself, the texture and the taste is very full body. It's very bitter. That's why it goes very well with condensed milk, and they put together, and that's the flavor that we are very accustomed to in Malaysia.
Right.
And that's why
Okay.
people say, "Oh, coffee gao gao." It came from all these things, over roasted coffee with butter and sugar caramelized in it, and it becomes that staple taste here in Malaysia. It's not
Okay.
wrong.
Okay.
It's just how we enjoy coffee, and when you drink that, and well, people get a kick out of it. It's oh bitter. Oh, I wake up already. You know.
It works for the
Yeah,
morning
that's
coffee
like the
shop. There's a
measure. That's
job.
like the measure
Yeah.
of like how good it is.
Basically when they say bitter is the over roasting and also how full bodied the coffee is. You know, the taste of
Right.
like the bitterness of it. You can really feel that it's not light. There's a lot of flavor into it. And when I say flavor, it's very bold, dark flavor.
But
Where
does it have
else?
more caffeine than say like some like
I don't think so
something
lah.
else? Is
I don't
it's
think there's
just
more caffeine.
psychological lah.
Yeah, it's
It's just
psychological.
psychological.
It's the same
Right.
amount of caffeine in a bean, that kind of thing. I'm not sure whether it diminish over roasting. That one I'm not sure. I think that you got to ask a proper expert. I just know my coffee because I like drinking coffee. You know.
Right.
So
Okay.
when it comes to say like all these brewers kind of coffee that you see, you know, you have people starting to how to say, get coffee that they can trace from a certain farm. It's just like how wine is, right? Or whiskey, single malt whiskey, or you can, this particular whiskey is from this Scottish farm, and hence its name Glenlivet. So that's the particular farm that's like coming out with this whiskey. When it comes to coffee, it's the same thing. So they talk about single origin beans, which comes from one farm, one type of bean, and the way they process the bean, whether or not it's natural fermentation, wash, and stuff like that. So that how they prepare the beans before it get roasted, right? So even the roasting is like they have medium, light roast. You got light, medium, and dark roast, right? So light one, when you drink very tea light, very light, it's like as though you're not drinking coffee at all. When it comes to medium, then the body is a little bit heavier. It gets a little bit more bold lah. You get the kick lah. You say, oh, this is coffee, the kind of thing. And comes to the dark one, then it's really like, you know, you can taste the bitterness of it lah. So that's
Huh.
what I understand about coffee lah.
Actually, you know quite a lot about food, because you did the same thing. We were walking past the butchers here in Singapore. We were walking past, oh, this is this is. I was like, wow, I didn't know any of that.
This size came
So
from it. I love my food.
All the testing and tasting.
No, I think I love steaks, and I watch a lot of content about steaks also. So I kind of know, you know, what are the nice cut that I enjoy, and what generally why this cut is good of a cow, and then the grading processes, like what kind of, you know, when it comes to cow, how do you grade them, how does different country grades them, even like, because cow, if you take a local cow in Malaysia, is like, I'm not sure whether cows in Malaysia are graded. I don't think they are, the local cows here,
can you imagine that they are
right? So
Graded for their cuts, for their meats,
for
or
like the
what?
marbling and
the
like
marbling, the
they're
Wow.
not listening to Mozart lah, for sure.
So to give you an example, okay, three very prominent exporters of beef. You've got the U.S. Basically, they only label two: prime versus choice. So prime is like their premium cut of beef, and then choice is like the rest of the cut, right? So prime beef is more expensive. Choice is like a lot more cheaper. So the marbling is a lot higher on prime. And then when it comes to say Wagyu is basically Japanese cow, right? The Japanese rate it from A1 to A5. You got A1, A2, A3, A4, A5 Japanese cow. So what happened was that the Japanese cow got, I'm not sure whether the word is smuggled out, but
Smuggle.
the the female cow was exported out to Australia or something, and somehow the breed went over there. I do not know the story, something like that, right? So then you have the Australian Wagyu. It's literally Japanese cow, but it's in Australia, and
Right.
their grading is marbling 1 to marbling 9, 1 to 9. So
For say a cow that's like marbling 1 to marbling 9, does the marbling 1 like get less beer a day or something, and the one that's at
It's not.
Mountain
It's just
Nine is
genetic.
like
Really,
Less
the
beer.
is it
beer,
genetic?
feeding
I thought they
beer
said
and
beer
massaging
and
this is, I think, is
Ah, ah, ah.
marketing. It's marketing. It's
Yeah.
not like that. It's
is it?
just not really like that. Yeah,
I thought it was like, oh, so laborious. It's got a massage
I don't think
and
so, lah. I'm not
it's like
sure
almost like
I want to look it up.
how accurate it is, but
massage or
I
feed them
think it's
like
not like
force
that.
feed them like alcohol, something like
No,
that.
no, no. It's their
So,
breed. It's their breed.
So if you are
oh,
genetically gonna be fat, you'll be fat. You'll be
So
very
so
marbly.
it
the
is
fatties get
illegal.
like go
It
for
is
more.
illegal to export a live cattle, say Japanese cow to other countries, the female cows, because the female ones can reproduce. So you lose
The
the
exclusivity of the
prestige.
breed
Yeah,
to your I
exactly.
see. Okay,
Right.
in the case, then what about Kobe? Because personally, I heard about Kobe beef first before I heard about Wagyu. Maybe it's just me that I'm not so
It's just the name.
observant.
It's
So
just the name of the place. It
the
was,
Wagyu from Kobe,
yeah, it's
right?
Kobe. Yeah,
And it's
basically.
better because of
It's
something.
it's just, I think the type of cow is called Miyazaki. Right, that kind of breed is called
Okay,
Miyazaki, if I'm not
okay.
mistaken. Right, I'm spewing this one. I think it's just Miyazaki or not. This is just like on top of my head that I think I know. Cow breed.
You sure you're not confusing it with like the Karate Kid guy, Mr.
That's
The
Miyagi?
primary
Miyagi.
condition to
That's
be labeled
Miyagi.
Miyazaki Gu beef is that the meat needs to have come from a cattle of Karogo Wagyu, Japanese black beef, breed
Okay.
born, raised, and fattened in Miyazaki Prefecture. Koroge Wagyu is Japanese cattle breed whose superior quality of flesh makes it one of the best beef in the world. It's a type of, literally, it's a type of cow.
Okay, I didn't know that. I thought it was all the massaging and alcohol.
Yeah,
No,
that's what I heard about also. But again,
it's their
marketing
breed.
lie, you know.
It's marketing, like it's the myth of it,
Massaging.
the mythical of like needing to sing song. I guess it does help in terms of like the psychology for the the cows.
The cow's mental health.
Yeah, I think there is something about playing music to the cows and stuff like that. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't breed them. I do not know. I just know the
Just eat
breed.
them. Just
And
eat
then
them.
the other one that is something that I possibly never tried before. And you are going to Korea soon. So for your holiday, the
Hanwoo, is
Hanwoo,
it?
the
Hanwoo beef.
Hanwoo breed. Yeah,
Hanwoo beef. Right?
yeah.
Oh, okay, that's the one. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Hanwoo.
like the Korean version of Wagyu. Or something
Yeah,
like
so you go and taste it and see if you like it. So
so damn expensive. I can just imagine it being totally lost on the kids. Probably me also actually. So
well, I don't think so. You will definitely taste the difference between. Okay, so what you do? Okay, let's do a prep before you go. Go for a normal steak place in Singapore that you find. You know, it doesn't need to
okay.
be expensive, just to like see what normal steak beef is here in Singapore, you know, just to like refresh your palate. And then when you go to South Korea, when you get a chance to taste the Hanwoo beef, which I don't think is gonna be like, you won't feel
Mind blowing.
the difference because it's so obvious. You know, the Hanwoo beef is gonna be like the Japanese A5 kind of grade kind of beef. I think so. You'll be blown away.
I want to say though, I think I would put money on the fact that maybe both of you have better taste buds than me. In that when you eat something, you're able to like um tell
Oh,
tell to it a bit more, or like be able to like differentiate. I mean, definitely John
I'm
has
not
a.
that. I'm not that.
You're not okay. Then maybe it's just me and you, and then John just takes the lead on these kind of
I'm
things.
more impressed with quantity
Why
than quality.
quality?
I don't know. Like,
How
ooh, value.
okay?
So,
Well,
yeah,
I used to okay.
I
no,
think
like the. So I'll just go. I mentioned this to you guys before, but there was one scene in Ratatouille that perfectly describes like how it is, how like I'm not so sensitive to these things. So there was this one scene in Ratatouille where what was the guy's name? Remy,
Uh,
the main rat, the main
yeah, yeah,
rat, the
yeah.
old rat. Is it Remy?
Yeah, Remy.
The
Then
son. I
yeah,
think so. Yeah.
so he was talking to his brother Emil. His brother is this like fatter brown rat, lah.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
I
And then he
yeah,
had a
was
yeah.
trying to teach
Eating
conversation.
him how
eating
to
all the
like,
trash and
yeah. And
then
then he was eating trash. David doesn't even know
yes.
what he's eating. So then Remy tries to teach him. So gives him like a piece of cheese and like. Then they illustrated it like really perfectly. So he's like close his eyes and they show him like trying to imagine the colors and all this. And for Remy, it's just like just very dim colors, and he couldn't like appreciate the full spectrum of like what he was eating. Whereas like when Remy was eating it, he was like, "Wow, it was all."
You
He
can
described it so
describe
well.
and then
So
it
I'm exactly
visualizes.
like the brother. So I'm like, I think I
Okay.
taste this. I think I taste that.
I think okay. You make it sound so bougie in the sense of, oh, it got to be like this flower, that color, right? I don't know lah. To me, right, is whether the very basic line is, does it taste good to you? Are you enjoying it? It's a different experience. Is it different from the rest of the thing that you experienced before? And you eat it, you want more, that kind of thing. It's a simple thing. Whether you like it or not, it doesn't really need to be like, oh, I taste the wow, it's so floral lah, and so wow, this is so complex. No, you don't have
That's
to.
not part of the thing
I guess
because
it is, but it's so pretentious in a lot of ways. It's at the end
Yeah,
of the day,
yeah.
it's grape juice, or it's just coffee. Just you like it or not, you like it, right? You do not. Maybe you do not know why you like it, and then that's when your curiosity will want to find out. Hey, what's the difference? Hey, this one I don't like it as much. Why? Then suddenly you're having that conversation.
I mean, I guess you have to like try something and then you need to like it. I mean, obviously, if it doesn't taste nice to you, then obviously you wouldn't even bother to think about trying to figure out what's all the colors and the spectrum and all that. However, I think
first remember what you've tasted before. Then you need to reference it back
by
to what you
comparison,
tasted
whether or
before.
not it's better or not, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess there's also the whole thing about, okay, you taste it and then it's really nice, and then whether you start to think about it or not. The point I want to bring up is that I mean, yeah, no, I've got food that I enjoy just eating mindlessly. I just don't think about it. I just eat because I know it tastes nice and I don't need to think so much about it. It's just nice. Then there are moments when you go for places that serve, a really intricate dinners, and you pay more than you usually would.
Your omakase.
Yeah, or rather, and then the food may not always taste just like plain good, or maybe again it's my taste buds lah. But it's the play on the taste and the visuals, and then it's an experience. I wouldn't go there to feed my hunger. I go there for the experience.
Yes.
If I was to go lah. So there are two ways to go about it. You want to eat you crave for something and you expect and you want that kind of taste, and then you know where to go and get from. That's a craving. Then you go to your usual go-to places, and then all this omakase or all this like chef, and then we bring an experience to you. It's for me, I end up feeling that the taste is there. It tastes good, yes, but then it feels like there's a balancing act between the taste that you enjoy and the discovery of the senses lah. I've experienced it before. I enjoyed it. I wouldn't like make it a thing to go like every now and then, but it's experience lah. I totally appreciate that lah. Once.
I've
You
never
know,
done that before.
whatever you said, right? It reminds me of that movie Menu.
Oh my god. Okay.
You watched that?
Because the guy was so yeah. So what you're referring to, the guy was so over the top, over like pretentious.
So
or
basically,
not?
the Menu is on Disney Plus. Is a
Oh yeah, yes, yeah.
It's a movie basically about this chef. He's been working for the longest time as a chef, and he's renowned. He's very popular. It's like #1 chef or something. Like, very popular, right? So he did this menu, this specific menu for this chosen guest that came over to his island for a gastronomy experience. And he
Extravaganza.
actually
Very
handpicked.
fine.
He actually
Very
handpicked
fine.
these people based on certain criteria. All right, I don't want to spoil
Life
it for you.
experiences. Oh,
Yeah,
okay, yeah.
different people. Like from that guy who loves his all this gastronomic stuff, to like billionaires and stuff like that.
Food critic
Food
and
critics.
yeah.
So they have his reasons. Okay, so yeah, I can't help but to recall that those are those different characters in that movie that he grouped together, like that kind of thing. Um, um,
And
I-
you heard what I say, and then that reminded you of.
I actually, well, I did. I I experienced a 2 Michelin star fine dining and wine pairing before that cost easily about 1,005 to 1,007 Malaysian ringgit. I didn't pay for it. It was contest win. It was bougie as
Hong
hell.
Kong.
It was in Hong Kong,
Hong Kong.
right?
Wait, what is bougie?
Bougie is this Gen Z term. Atas.
I think it's pronounced with a. We mentioned it in the previous previous
Yeah,
episode
so far
about being very
forgot already. Bougie,
French, bougie, like a French.
Atas,
Yeah.
atas.
Yeah, atas.
But
Is it pronounced bougie? Is it pronounced
language
bougie?
is it in?
Bougie, bougie.
It's just a slang. It's
Slang.
a slang. It sounds French, but it probably
You
isn't.
sure it's not
real.
bourgeois?
No, it's not. It's bougie.
What does bourgeois mean?
Bourgeois is the socialist term, the one that's meant to represent like the despised upper elite.
Oh
So
my
there's
God.
the
That's a-
bourgeoisie
okay.
and the proletariat. So the when you see something is bourgeois, it means something is like this guy. This is too. It's too atas for the average person, and that people hate it because it's bourgeois lah. So so it's bougie. You sure it's not bourgeois? Because it kind of
You
sounds
make
like
me you make me question this already now. But I think it's bougie. They say bougie.
okay.
I don't know, guys. You guys
B-O-U-J-E.
listening,
Yeah.
maybe
B-O-U.
Eugene is right. Maybe I'm saying the right
You
thing.
know,
so-
I get it. So basically, it means something that's very atas lah.
Yeah. So like you say, it's an experience in a way that you wouldn't imagine that food can be married certain ways. When ingredients put together and you put in your mouth, it's sort of like explosion of flavor that you cannot imagine that it can taste like that. So that's fine dining. You got to go to the right chefs, the right people who are actually doing these things that can bring this kind of experiences to you. It's kind of crazy. And one that for sure I think can do it very well is Heston Bloomingdale, Fat Duck in London. He's pretty popular in challenging experiences from visual to the taste buds and all. Can be quite something. An experience. Go try it.
In Korea.
I don't know how many topics we already skipped from one to another.
But it sounds like a fitting rap
Right.
segment. By the way, I think Eugene, I think you're right. The bougie, apparently someone wrote here, it did come from
It's bourgeois.
bourgeois or bourgeoisie is the people, and the bourgeois is the meaning. Yeah, correct. They did say that. So there you go. Yeah.
So what it is then? Am I pronouncing
So
it
like
correctly?
rich. Well, I didn't check the pronunciation, but the French word is bourgeois or bourgeoisie. The people. Bourgeois is the act of. So bougie, yeah, bougie sounds right because the root from bourgeois.
Nobody is actually watching us live, I think. There was one person coming in and out. I'm not sure who it is. But anyway, yeah. So if you guys are listening to this episode of It's Okay La, brought to you by John, Andrew, and Eugene. We record live sometime on a Wednesday or a Tuesday.
Hi, I'm Andrew. It's Andrew. John, Andrew, and Eugene show. You say Andrew.
Did I say Andrew?
Yeah,
You say John, Andrew, and Eugene.
John,
Hey, Andrew,
can
shout
you-
out to Andrew. Shout out to Andrew.
Oh wow! Those who don't know, let's plug it. I also do another show called the John and Andrew Show, so it's like all tongue twisted already. So anyway,
Easy
yeah.
content creator.
So we do record this live, and when you do live, what happens is that if you comment in the comment, we can do a sort of like a response, that kind of thing live, and that can be quite fun. Otherwise, we'll just jump from topic to topic without a flow. But somehow it flows very well. because I want to bring on to a topic that I was asking about Eugene, and it just somehow doesn't flow into it, but to introduce it, like, let's talk about it straight away, that kind of thing. So Eugene, how's your iPhone 15?
It's good. It's to be honest, I'm severely underusing it. I didn't even try too hard to get like the most like desirable color, which was that, what is that, that
The normal one,
titanium?
the
No,
titanium.
the natural or white
Yeah.
titanium. I didn't bother lah. I just went to get the one that was in stock, and it's this blue thing.
Uh-huh.
So
It
yeah,
looks
it's
nice
Oh,
though.
okay.
The blue.
yeah. I
Looks
think it looks
black.
better actually. It looks
Amelia has the
better.
same one.
Oh, okay. She got the blue one as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I don't really like the look of the natural titanium, because
Too glossy, is it?
that's not really what titanium looks like. Titanium basically looks almost exactly like stainless steel. So that is actually
Mm.
not even really titanium. They just colored it a bit brown. So it's a brown phone. So
Yee. Okay.
yeah. So yeah, but I like it. I like the action button. So the action button is I have it assigned to like the flashlight now,
Mm-hmm.
and it's pretty good. So
Just the flash. Oh, one click and then the flashlight comes on.
yeah. So
That's the idea, ma.
it's just so much more convenient, and yeah, I I hope they introduce the double click and like the triple click or something. Then you
Uh-huh.
can just get like at least few more options lah.
What
But yeah,
if
it's
I tell you you can actually do more straight away?
Hmm.
you mean like assign it to like a shortcut, is it?
Yeah.
And something along those lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't really tried that actually.
It's actually so fun. So what happened was that Amelia has the phone, so I was like playing with it, right?
Oh,
So immediately I was like, okay, let's assign to a shortcut, because I didn't know what to expect. First time actually doing it, and then I assigned it a shortcut, so it launches a shortcut, right?
right.
So shortcut, you can literally control things around you. Like I've got my home over here, which is like a smart home. So I can assign the button to turn on the air condition. Right. So that's simple. That's also like very
Okay.
one single track thing. You can only do one thing. What if, let's say, like then because it's shortcut, you can also like have if conditions inside. So you can start
Right.
very basic
Okay.
scripting.
Programming.
Okay.
So
Yep.
you could be like,
Okay.
oh, if my phone is connected to my Wi-Fi, it's an indication that you are home.
Okay.
All right. Then turn on aircon. Else,
Oh.
turn on the flashlight or go silent.
Ah.
Okay. Okay.
So that's how shortcut works.
I never thought of doing that actually.
Yeah.
So
So
let me see. So if I okay, well, what else would I like to assign it to? I think I would like to assign it to like say the camera. So I'm between the camera and like the flashlight. So is there a condition that I can set so that
For when you need the user
when I
as a
need
camera,
to,
then
what conditions would that be?
so
do you
I've
can you
got a-
program the
Driving?
accelerometer?
I've got another solution for you. That one. So obviously, if you got the double click, that will be better. But of
Yeah.
course, now we don't. So when I could program those button, that action button, right? It dawned to me that yeah, I don't suck. I don't have it on the iPhone 14 Pro. I don't have an iPhone 15. I was like, damn. Then I went online and YouTube, and these people are saying, hey, you know what? You don't really need the action button to do certain things like that. So let me show you this thing that I actually prepared. So this is my iPhone right now.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so what we have, there is, remember the double tap on the back as an accessibility thingy that people
Yes.
were
Back tap.
playing. You could
Back tap.
actually do the same over here. And what it
Okay.
just happened is when I double tap at the back, it bring out a menu where I can now select whether I want to add a calendar event or add a reminder or send a message.
But does it work when the phone is off though? Like your screen is off. Does it work?
Well, basically, if you are putting it inside your pocket and then you press your action button, that to turn on a physical thing, then yeah lah, I don't think this method will work lah, because it's like, I don't know.
So you need to wake the phone first.
I
You
think
need to
so.
wake it, then only you activate the. How was that? Let me try.
Yeah, I can't activate it when it's locked. When it comes to the
Oh,
double tap,
okay.
so that's
Okay,
the
so
possibly limit.
okay, so that's the downside lah.
Yeah,
So
this
that's
is
one
downside.
difference lah. Okay.
So what
Still pretty good though.
what I could do is, like, right now, if I were to do this, I could double tap. It brings up a menu that you can program in Shortcut to do certain things. Like, it could be
Okay.
like turn on aircon, or close the curtains or whatsoever, to control straight away.
Can you do something like, say, if you press both the volume up and down buttons at the same time? Can you
Cannot.
do that with shortcuts? You can do that.
Shortcut.
They-
Okay, so the
they
trigger
lock that.
point, the trigger point is not at Shortcut with this one. The trigger point for the double tap and triple tap is under accessibility, where Apple exposes that those action that you can access Shortcut, and unless Shortcut allows me to say, when volume up press is done, then I can do it. So under Shortcuts, which is here, there are few things. All right, so you got Shortcuts where you can do all these, like, routine.
Yeah.
Under automation, all right, personal automation. In personal automation itself, right, there are things like trigger points. I call it trigger points, is like, because time of day. So if it's at 8 a.m. On weekday, you do something, right? These are trigger points. So if something, this thing triggers, then something will happen, right? Trigger points. So these are the trigger points that Apple exposed in Shortcut for us to use. So alarm, sleep, arrive, leave, before I commute, connected to CarPlay, when you receive an email or a message or a transaction, or Apple Workout, all these things, right? When you connect to a Wi-Fi, when you connect to a Bluetooth, like you know how you have a blank track in your iTunes, which is AAA, and what it is that what happened is that when you connect to a Bluetooth, right, it plays a song, right, automatically where you last and you have the AAA to, like, stop them from playing.
Yes.
So what if? So I did this
Oh, you use that as the trigger.
trigger. So when I go into the car, when it connects to the Bluetooth, I stop all media. So you don't have to play the AAA in iTunes at all, because it will notice that, I now connect to this Bluetooth device, and there's a shortcut that says stop all media.
Okay, that's interesting. Because that is a very, very annoying thing. When you get into the car and then via Bluetooth it plays the songs, and it's bloody annoying.
Sometimes
Never
my
occurred to me to
volume is
try
up
it.
so high, right? Because, like, previously you were, like, listening to certain things, and then in the morning you go in and then it connects and then it plays a song with the blasting sound, like that.
Oh, yes, that's true.
So-
We can try that. Huh?
So if you connect Bluetooth, and then you could, like, turn down to a certain volume and then play the song. Even you it's up to you how you want to do that. So these are trigger points that Apple exposed out for you to use in Shortcut. And unless the trigger point over here says when up button is pressed, or when volume down button is pressed, then you can actually do that.
But
So
it didn't expose
Apple
that.
didn't
Okay.
expose that for us to use, so we cannot.
Okay.
Therefore, there's nothing. And then I realized after a while that, hey, my Apple Watch over here, which is the Ultra,
Yep.
it has an action button also,
Which you
and
can
this-
also
What do you
put
and
in
you
for
can also
shortcuts.
program it for shortcuts.
Walao. Okay. So your watch is another, like, whatever you can do on your watch
what do you
Ultra is
assign it to
also
before, though?
triggers.
Well, I assign it to my workout, so I press this one, and then it opens up my workout page, and then press and to start a workout.
Oh, that sounds like a waste actually.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Okay.
Or you can just hold it and then turn on the siren.
Okay.
I think.
Okay. No, I think that's the other
You-
one. Oh, okay, there we go.
Yeah, that's a very, very loud thing. So I can turn on. So that's the action button, but you can also assign it to shortcuts. And shortcuts work slightly differently, a little bit more limiting on the Apple Watch
Yeah, on the Apple
versus
Watch,
say what. So it's another thing that I did over with the tab, right? So I say if I'm connected, say in my own Wi-Fi, therefore turn on the aircon or turn off the aircon, right? So the other thing is that, but if I'm not connected to the Wi-Fi, you know what I did? Okay, over here 1, 2, 3. This is a triple tap. It brings up. Now I'm connected to my Wi-Fi, so it actually turned off my aircon right now. So let me just disconnect my Wi-Fi just quickly. So now that my Wi-Fi is disconnected, I do the tap from behind. It runs a shortcut. It fetches my Jaya Grocer loyalty barcode.
Yo, okay.
Pretty smart, right?
Do you get like false positives with the back tab? Because I get it all the time, and that's one reason why I stopped using it, because I kept getting false positives.
I also stopped it for quite a while already. Yeah,
So-
I had the issue as well.
You false positives, right?
Then now
For double lah.
you could like then sort of like validate it a bit lah. Like if let's say you're connected to Wi-Fi only, you start executing. Otherwise, you do
Right.
nothing.
Right. Okay.
For instance,
Just now you say the Bluetooth one to actually stop all media, right? But if you do that, then you wouldn't, like in a case where you're using your okay, it's not okay on the phone like AirPods, then you want it to like from playing there just away, and then it just goes over there. Would that connect to Bluetooth and then stop all media? Make you have to get and press play on.
no, because AirPods connects. The
It's not
name
Bluetooth.
is the SSID is different from your car Bluetooth SSID.
It's not Bluetooth.
So-
Okay, so that
It's
by
based
the
on SSID. So Bluetooth
Okay, then that makes it
connect to
better.
this SSID, which is say if you're driving your
Different
I'm driving a
trigger.
Honda, so it will stop. And but if let's say if it's your AirPods, that is not, so it wouldn't be doing that. So it exposes a lot more control in that sense for this particular shortcut. So I was like, it's so powerful, so much things that you can do with it right now. And if you been using Focus especially, then you'll be like going to town, or if I'm actually at work in focus mode, this particular action button does something. Right? If you're connected to your work Wi-Fi,
That's true.
the action button
Walao,
becomes something
okay.
different, right? So
That's true.
if you are connected to your Bluetooth in your car, you're driving, when you press your action button, it does a different thing. Like for instance, you want to send a quick message, getting the location where you are, send it to your wife that, hey, I'm coming back. This is the estimation time that I'll be arriving, automatically. You know, because you're connected to the car. When you click it, it does something like that. So there's so many things that you can program with the action button that, you know, I think you
really should. Really
All with the
should try a
tabs,
bit
like you
more.
said. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just didn't because it just didn't think about it.
I
But
was
you have shortcuts in your phone, right? I mean, like because I don't.
I stopped using it for a while already, but yeah, I did when they first introduced it. I did set up some like to do like some retrieval things for me. But then after they updated, don't know iOS what, then they changed some of the routines. Then some of my shortcuts couldn't work already.
Didn't work.
It was like,
Okay, to redo again lah.
Then I didn't want to go and redo everything, so I just kind of like stopped. But
I think
but
I
yeah,
only had.
I-
So you go ahead.
I think I sent you guys. Did I share you guys my like WhatsApp manual number one? I think I
yeah.
may have one, right? Yeah, so it's
Manual
quite simple
number.
one lah. Yeah, so you know, like when you want to send a message to a WhatsApp message to
Oh,
someone
okay,
who isn't
okay.
in your contact list, you would
Right,
create a
right.
contact, all that.
There's a link
So,
you
yeah,
use,
so
yeah.
there's a link you can just like truncate, like not truncate. You
Yep.
can just append the
Put the phone numbers correct.
yeah phone number in. So I just wrote like a small. That still works. But some of the other more complicated ones, it just stopped working after iOS. Don't know what lah.
Mhm.
So I just never bothered to go back in to revamp them. And yeah.
I think I only have one shortcut ever. I don't know whether if I don't even use it anymore.
Which I haven't used for so long.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but now that there's this action button option, yeah, maybe it would be worthwhile to like go and redo
Revisit
some of them.
again.
Yeah.
I think it's brilliant, the action button and shortcuts, based on context where you are and how you want to trigger it. So you can be like putting so many conditions on it, and trigger it for different reasons, not just on flashlight. I think the flashlight is a little bit good also because the fact that when you're off, your phone is like on standby, without validating you can
Yeah.
turn on. So that's actually
Yeah.
quite cool.
So also also I mentioned to you guys over WhatsApp that the flashlight has got more throw on it now.
Yeah, you
Mhm.
mentioned that.
Yeah, it's a flashlight thing lah. But last time if say at least on my iPhone 11 Pro before this, if I say would walk in the dark and if I turn on the flashlight, like, you still
You
can't
can't
see
see the
much, right?
floor.
Unless you
Yeah.
hold it down like closer to the floor. But
Mm-hmm.
this one now has got more throw, so I can just hold it and it can light my path. And so that's like something which I've not heard anybody mention about
Try
the
this.
iPhone 15 Pro.
Try this. Hey Siri, Lumos. Yeah. Hey Siri, Lumos.
Is that a shortcut or is it this?
Is it? That's a shortcut lah. I didn't
No,
know you
Harry
could do that
Potter,
with Siri.
guys.
Oh my gosh,
Sorry.
I didn't get it at all. Sorry,
I didn't get it also. Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't get it at all.
Basically, the
I'm not
one
a Harry Potter
Lumos, and then it turns on.
guy. Okay.
Yeah.
So sorry, I'm not a Harry Potter guy, so I totally missed that. But yeah, cool.
It works, right?
Is that built-in or
It's built in. It's built in. You can try it. You can try it. You can try
Oh
it.
I see, I see.
wow. Okay.
Hey Siri, Lumos.
Is it locked? Your phone?
Hey Siri, Lumos. Ah. Okay, cool.
Hey
How do you
Siri.
say? How do you say like
Lumos.
anti-Lumos? Anti-Lumos. Oh no, they can't turn it off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lumos. Yeah. Hey Siri, Wingardium Leviosa.
I
Yeah,
tried
that one. That I know lah. That I know.
Wingardium Leviosa.
How do you do that?
Do what?
You can detect. Did it detect the thumbs up?
It didn't. I'm not sure. There you go. There.
Something else there. Walao. Okay. That's
Did you
OBS.
trigger that? Or
Yeah, I
is that
triggered that.
something.
With I
okay.
trigger with this.
Oh, I see with hand
basically.
gestures. Okay.
Yeah, hand gesture. It doesn't do anything now.
What does this do?
2 thumbs up.
It's like the Batman.
Yeah.
The Batman one.
Oh, that game. Batman.
And then this one.
Yeah, so cheesy.
Yeah. Well, iOS 17 and also Max. Yeah. Sonoma. Basically, this one. Oh, there is a
I didn't know.
Mac event coming up next week.
Oh yeah, what is that?
That's odd. That's quite odd.
Is that a iPad one?
Ridiculously fast, something along that line.
But you said
title.
Mac event, so it's Mac and then some
Apple event.
It's not Apple event.
Basically
Okay.
Apple
Okay.
event.
So it could be iPad. And then,
9
oh yeah, I read a rumor. What was it? Was it iPad or was it?
I saw
No,
some
because there was a
information,
recent
I
news
don't know
about the iPad price dropping. Because I was telling my wife about she was thinking about getting the mom a new iPad using her points from some corporate listing, and then I just said, hey, this iPad the price dropping already. Then you might need to consider getting the previous one before this one drop. That one phase out, and then you can't get the cheaper one, which is like the I think the 9th gen iPad is like cheaper by about 500 ringgit. And once that goes away, then you have to pay 2K for the cheapest basic iPad. The jump is quite dead, but it's a typical Apple scenario. So I saw
they're clearing stock lah.
there was a price drop on the 10th gen, and then I was like, oh, okay. And then now you mentioned there's an Apple event, which most likely is the iPad. It actually kind of makes sense.
So maybe it's an iPad event. Not sure. It's titled Scary Fast.
CPU
M2
processor.
iPad? Is there an M2 iPad already? No, right?
Yeah, there
One
is
iPad.
already M2
Is it
iPad
M2?
now. It's
Pro,
M2,
Pro.
M2
Pro.
yeah.
It's already
Okay.
M2. So if there is anyone, it's gonna be an M3 iPad.
M3. Okay.
But if it's you're gonna introduce an M3, you probably want to put it on a Mac instead of an iPad first. Is that right?
They-
M3 is like first.
It's already M3. M3 is already on the.
Got M3? Oh,
On
got
the
already. I
Mac.
mean, yeah. Okay.
No lah, it's not. It's not.
Got where?
I don't think it's on any of the
Is
Mac
there
yet.
an M3? Is there M3 chip already?
I'm not sure.
I don't think it's been released yet. I think they
I never heard about any. I mean, I'm not the best
the
follower,
first
lah,
time
but
they
then
did it was with the Mac Mini, right? M1, and then after that, then it came out with the
M2.
MacBook Air with it. Then after that, only the other ones got it. So I don't think there's an M3 yet.
Economic Times says that Apple might launch a new M3 chip powered 24-inch iMac and MacBook Pro models by month end. This
Yeah.
could release it for the new iMac. It could be in 2024, 2025. Yeah, it doesn't sound like it's
Yeah,
soon.
it's only M2 right now on the MacBook Pros and all.
Yeah. That's what I would think. Yeah. M3 is not. Yeah.
More stuff to purchase and buy and whatever.
M2 iPad got lah. Pro lah. The Pro has it. Yes.
Yeah, the Pro is M2 on the iPad. That I know.
Last year M2 iPad Pro. Yeah. So it's not just yeah. So it's still quite soon for M3 or M3 iPad in fact, which I will probably never buy. I mean, I've no use case for the iPad Pro. Of course, until you use it, then you I never knew how I survived without it. But
Actually,
then,
I don't know. It's
really okay.
when it comes to iPad, right? I'm not sure. Maybe I just don't know how to use it as a power user. I just cannot find I'm not there yet to. Maybe because I've got a MacBook Pro with me that I'm using a lot.
It's the apps.
that's your main horse.
Yeah, that's the main horse.
It's not. Yeah.
I don't feel like using the Mac or rather the iPad as a main computer driver per se. You know,
I mean, I say that because like among the three of us over here, my first iPhone is iPhone 4, so it's way later than any of you. You know, so just purely on that alone, I probably won't be the first person to actually fully utilize even justifying buying a iPad Pro to use it.
I find that. Sorry, you say?
No, I'll just say Christmas is coming and treat yourself better. Go get yourself a MacBook Air or something. Try to have a Mac in your life.
A Mac, not as a main driver, and then a Mac in my life. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually still have the 2017 10.5-inch MacBook Pro, iPad Pro, which was the second ever iPad Pro ever released before they went bezel-less and decided to charge everybody more money. So, and this one does everything. It does everything I need it to do. So, and it's fast enough for like everything. And like I find that most of what limits the iPad is actually the apps. You just don't have the flexibility and the power to like harness the whatever M1, M2 chips that they put in because the apps are just not there.
No, I guess depending what you're doing. If you're an animator, if you draw a lot, those you want to have that kind of speed and RAMs and whatever. But if you're just consuming Netflix,
you don't need that at all.
Yeah, you don't.
So,
you're not even watching 4K on it. Come on.
Yeah, you're not even 4K. And like I use my iPad for work when I need to draw stuff out, and it's more than good enough. I don't need like a bezel-less whatever nonsense. The Apple Pencil Gen 1, it does everything I need it to do.
It's a pencil.
And so the only reason why I may get a second iPad is because, like, say if like one of the kids like need it for school, so okay, you know what, I need to buy an iPad, and I probably won't buy it new. I'll probably buy it like secondhand. And
Carousel.
Yeah, it's buy secondhand, and I don't want to pay like full price for it, and I'll probably get like a secondhand like Pro because I like the ProMotion on it. Because it's quite a bit nicer on like a bigger screen. On the iPhone, you barely notice it, but for the iPad, you do kind of notice it, lah. And so and that's probably and I find the longevity of the iPad Pro is much better because, like my 2017 iPad Pro, it still supports iOS 17, whereas the iPad don't know Gen what, like they lose support for the latest OSs much quicker. So whereas the Pros they stay on like the latest OSs much longer, and so
have you checked the iPad Pros have a longer compatibility than the regular iPads?
Mine still runs like the
latest iOS
17.
Yep.
Whereas the iPhone 10, which was released in 2018, already doesn't support iOS 17. So whereas my
Hmm.
2017 iPad Pro, 1 year earlier than the iPhone 10's release, it still supports iOS 17. So
It
My
it's
Mini 5 still supports it, but I wonder Mini 5 is how old?
Mini
Ah?
five
Mini 5 quite
is
new though.
yeah,
It's
quite
quite new
new,
now. Yeah,
Quite new, right?
quite
it's
new.
quite new.
Anything
But
with
this
without the button is relatively new.
Mini 5 has a button. Yeah, no, it's not Mini 5. Is it Mini 5? Yeah, it's a Mini 5, but
yeah,
it's
no, but
2019.
they didn't
Mm.
release the new
Many
Mini for so
minis.
long. And then after that
Yeah.
they
Mini
released
6 is
the
a
new one.
new
So
one.
yours is that one.
No. Mine is the one before they
Mini
went on the
6.
hiatus. Mine is Mini 5.
Right.
Yeah.
The Mini 6 is the one that is the, had the
It's the
long wait.
latest one.
So the Mini
The
5
the
was
buttonless one.
2019, and then the Mini 6 is 2021. Mini 5. Oh, it's a Mini 5. Okay. I did. Yeah, it's a Mini 5, but then I thought it's older, but okay, 2019.
Okay.
Right.
So any iPad that doesn't support iPad OS, that's old.
Okay, that is old. That
Okay.
is old. Yeah, that would be
Okay.
super duper old actually.
Because that's a turning point. Because what you possibly will miss out is when they start to add physical hardware functionality to the iPad. Like for instance, when I had the iPad Mini 3, which is a a long time ago.
No, that's old. Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
I cannot do
It's old.
sidecar. So the
Right.
proximity, the connectivity of all these devices and everything just cannot do.
The
So
hardware can, yeah.
the hardware just cannot do. So when they introduce a new chip into the iPad and you don't have it, that's when you feel like, hey, there are certain things that you can't do. Like for instance, the new Apple Watch, right? The Apple Watch 9, I believe, has a proximity sensor chip inside that. Right now, you can like go around and really pinpoint where certain objects are, that kind of thing. Your phone to the Apple tags and stuff like that. So those are capabilities that's hardware dependent and you will possibly miss out. So with me, the sidecar, I think it makes a lot of difference because right now I'm using the sidecar with the teleprompter that I have over here. I'm actually watching, doing this stream, like looking towards you guys, that kind of thing. So I'm using sidecar to use the iPad as a monitor, and then I flip it over for the teleprompter, right? So sidecar is pretty important. I think it's pretty nice to have. That's when you feel that your iPad is old if you don't have that kind of thing. And a lot of times, if let's say you are not so much of like gonna be using the iPad to create, to write documents, even, think of getting an Android tablet, man. It's so much cheaper.
Mm.
It's so much
Oh, is
cheaper.
it?
Yeah. 800 ringgit,
Never even considered it.
a few hundred ringgit tablet, right? You get a big screen, very nice display and everything. All you do is watching Netflix and Disney Plus. You're not missing anything.
That's true. That's true. By the way, Sidecar is also still supported on my 2017 iPad Pro.
Mine
So
was
it's
like
like-
the first iPad that it doesn't support.
Oh yeah, iPad. Yeah lah, that one is that one is like iPad Gen 1.
So that's
I
why
have that also.
That's why I say anything before the iPad OS all cannot support sidecar.
There's a lot, I think, before iPad OS, I think, quite a number.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the other day, my one of my son's friends, neighbors lah, came over to our place, and they do this quite regularly, where they bring their iPads over, then they play like a game together. Well, basically it's like a LAN party lah, but they play it on
LAN party
iPad
is
lah.
so much more
Wow,
convenient now.
so
Yeah,
easy,
LAN
man.
party.
Yeah, I know, right? You know, right?
LAN party
Yeah,
of the olden
yeah,
days,
so
my goodness.
my son was using my iPad Pro 2017,
Uh-huh.
and the friend had an iPad non-Pro 2018, something like that.
Uh-huh.
And then he's ran out of battery. So let me quickly top it, fast charge it for you lah. Mana tahu it doesn't support fast charging. So whereas my iPad Pro 2017 is 1 year older, it supports it. And so all of these little things which make me like think, why do I even bother with like paying like for a non-pro iPad? You just buy a second hand Pro, and then you get all the fast charging, you get all like the ProMotion, you get whatever, and longevity wise is much better. So basically the LAN party came to a stop lah, because the friend's iPad ran out of battery and I couldn't fast charge it. It was just like bottleneck at like 12 watts. And so whereas mine, when I charge it, goes up to like sometimes 30 watts when I charge it. And so yeah, little things like this lah, which makes me like iPad
True.
Pro all the way. Secondhand iPad Pro all the way.
Mm-hmm.
True. But I've got the iPad Air 5, which is an M1. I thought that was a
Oh, that's
good
practically
machine.
pro, man. That's practically pro, man.
Yeah, but the thing is that but when I get the M1 one, the M2 was out on the iPad Pro line, you see. But I could have also considered getting the iPad Pro M1 secondhand, cheaper.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you could do that. But does your iPad Air have fast charging? Like,
I don't
does
know.
it support like?
I never really
you
run
need to
out.
have the multimeter to check it lah. I'm saying.
I
Multimeter.
guess so lah. I
Nice,
do
ah,
have a
multimeter.
multimeter. It's
I
just
see.
that
Yeah.
I never
Yeah.
bother.
So I have like these cables around my house that have got these like little LEDs that tell me the wattage.
Yeah.
So these are like incredibly good. Like let's say if I charge like
You will know immediately how much is the
you know immediately how many watts. So
two,
yeah,
1,
so
2.
so I really like this. So I have like several of them, and so immediately I'll know whether
But
it's
is
fast
that
charging.
the Type C one? Now that your
I have a
that's
Type C one as
Lightning.
well.
yeah
I have a Type C
Oh,
one as
also
well.
lah. Okay.
I have a Type C one as well. So that's like
do you know
Yeah,
that
so that's
after
like-
MagSafe, right? I seldom plug into the connectors.
Oh,
anymore.
really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
I
Okay.
still do the wire lah. It's faster lah. So
Yeah, but I think with MagSafe or like this wireless charging, you just constantly charge whenever you're not using the phone, and it just maintains a certain charge. It's the same concept that we have for electric vehicles. Just constantly charge, and then you will never have to be concerned about battery.
Yeah, but
Unless
then
you're
the
on the go
battery
all the time,
health is not going to be good that way.
It's questionable because of the so-called the charge cycle. You don't really go all the way down, but then if you charge up a little bit up and down, I think there's an argument saying that it's not considered one charge cycle when you just
But
charge up.
the thing about lithium batteries is like you do not want it to deplete to 0. You do not want it to be
Of course,
top up to 100.
too high. Correct.
So
2080.
when you plug in, sometimes Apple do manage your charging to like 75% and don't charge depending on your usage and everything, right? So they sort of like be smart about it. But most of the time when it doesn't, it goes up to 100%. And when you plug in, what happens is that it I hope it's not trickle charge. I hope it is like snap off the battery. Let's just use the current to actually sustain the on. Otherwise, if it's trickle charge, you are actually depleting your battery over time. Your phone uses your battery like maybe 1%, and then
Correct.
your
Charge
charger
out again.
charge up 1% to 100. So that's trickle charging basically.
Yeah, but when they do that, I mean previously I thought that was bad, but then I think I read again recently that when that happens, it's not considered like losing your cycle of a charge. Apparently, there's some way around it with the current batteries. Apparently,
Don't know.
or rather, doing that is still better in terms of if you keep your battery between 20 and 80. Within the middle range, it's still better than to otherwise not charge it and then risk surviving on the below 20% and then having battery anxiety, if there's a word.
So all these things, like just now we were talking about shortcuts, when you dock your phone to charge, it's also an expose trigger. So you can do stuff with it.
When charging,
So imagine if let's say you've been using Focus, okay? And then after 11 o'clock, your sleep focus will turn on, right? So that's how your focus turn on automatically. And then when you then take your phone to your nightstand and charge, whether or not, MagSafe or whatever, it then triggers, if my current focus is sleep, and therefore you are charging, I'm assuming that you're going to bed, right? And then you turn off, lock your doors and automation, that kind of stuff,
Mm.
or even like make your computer go to sleep, or you can do stuff like that. Pretty cool, right?
Pretty cool. Yeah. Speaking of sleep, I think I do. Have to get some
It's a
sleep.
good way to wrap up the call.
Yeah, man.
The episode.
Focus, activated, sleep on
Sleep.
Eugene.
Sleep focus. Sleep mode. Sleep focus.
I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of It's Okay Lah. I think there's a lot of nuggets of little things that we can learn from each other, especially on focus, shortcuts, and stuff. And
Hump day episode. Okay.
beef and coffee and
Beef.
well, everything today we talk
Ice
about
cream.
is my jam,
GMO. Your jam.
my jam.
Alrighty.
Well-
I like the fact that we are not like, if we are not experts, we say we're not experts. So whoever is possibly listening, you better go check yourself.
So what's the freaking point of actually spending an hour with you guys listening to your talk?
No, but it's better than like us claiming to be an expert, but actually we're wrong.
And then end up all wrong. And then the
Yes,
comments
no,
blow up.
if
The
you're not
comments
sure,
blow
you
up.
say
That
we're
this
not
guy doesn't know
sure
what I'm saying.
You guys are just
Yeah.
scaredy cat lah. Don't want to be held responsible. Can you imagine Telemore comes and sue us because you say that the GMO and everything?
We're just reading what we see online. We're not claiming anything.
It's not that whatever we
you
say
are-
suddenly their sales drop and then their whatever tank. So,
Then this episode brought to you by Tilamu Ice Cream. That will be you.
anyway, nice chatting with you guys. It was a good episode.
Alright.
Thank you for listening, guys. Join us again next week. Hopefully we come back with another episode which is interesting. So see you guys. Take care. Bye.
Bye everyone.
Right?